care what the dispute was, there's absolutely no excuse for violence against children. Y'all, I have already seen people online trying to turn this into a race or political conversation. And honestly, it's disgusting and it's completely misplaced. This is a tragedy involving the lives of children, and that should be where the focus is. Please remember, this is a developing story, so there's speculation about mental health issues, things that may have been posted online. Regardless of any of that, it does not change what has happened here. Suspect has been identified as Shamar Elkins of Louisiana. He's been accused of shooting 8 children, 2 adult females. There's a rumor that 7 of the 8 children were the ones that belonged to him. Authorities say that this started as a domestic dispute between him and the ex-girlfriend, who is one of the victims. From there, it clearly escalated into something much bigger that spanned across 3 different locations. Now, this is a very fresh situation. All the details are still being worked out. I feel like the least we can do as a society is to focus on what's important here. And it's not race or political beliefs. It's the tragedy itself. I don't even have words for this one. My thoughts are with the family.
So, as you guys know, before the sun came up on Easter Sunday in Shreveport, Louisiana, 8 children were asleep in their beds. 3-year-old Jayla, 5-year-old Shayla, 6-year-old Kayla, 7-year-old Layla, Braylon, Shadarian, and Shira and Markayla, who were all just 10 years old. By 6 a.m., every single one of them was pronounced deceased. They were shot execution style by their own father. And what makes this even more disgusting is just 2 days before the massacre, he posted a photo on Easter Sunday with all 7 of his children smiling, calling it a blessed day. So what happened? What drove a man to slaughter his own children? I want you guys to stay with me and listen to more women as they break down what the true problem is, and that problem is men. Men are the problem. Men have cultivated a culture where men feel like it's okay to commit atrocities towards children, towards women. So let me show you guys something
So I was
else.
just listening to this podcast about Lisa Sweetman. See Janae stuff again.
Hold on, let me pause that and get it together. Now let me show you guys a video from a TikTok creator where she says men are the problem. Let's listen.
Not gonna lie, so I was listening to this podcast about Lisa Sweetman and what her husband did to her. Then I started thinking about this Ashley Janae stuff again and how y'all blamed her for getting murdered because she was dating a white man. It didn't take that long for them to get married or whatever. Basically how rushed their relationship is. Now I'm hearing about the story yesterday about how the husband with his wife, who tried to leave him like y'all always tell women to do, just leave, just leave, just leave. He tried to leave her husband. He shot 7 of his 8 kids and critically injured her. Just leave, just leave, just leave. And y'all are steady blaming women for getting in relationships with certain demographics of people. It's a man problem. It don't matter, like I was arguing in the comments with some girl the other day. It don't matter how long they was together. 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, 60 years. It seemed like the common denominator is men, impulsive men who don't know how to control their emotions. Killed 7 out of 8 of his kids.
As the young lady said,
I'm going to finish my hair.
as she said, men are the problem. In this situation, 31-year-old Shamar Elkins was the problem. And by all surface appearances, he looked like a regular man. He worked at UPS. He even served in the Louisiana Army National Guard from 2013 and was released in 2020 and he worked as a signal supporter specialist, never deployed out of the country. And again, he left the military as a private. On the morning of April 19th, a neighbor named Freddie Montgomery told reporters he had waved at Shamar Elkins just the day before. And he watched the children playing in the yard, and it appeared nothing was wrong. But apparently behind closed doors, the family was falling apart. His wife, 34-year-old Shaniqua Pugh filed for divorce, citing infidelity, according to Troy Brown of CNN. And the husband was one of the women, right? Sorry, the husband of one of the women who was shot. He shot. So listen, my bad. I'm blowed. He shot Shaniqua. Oh, my bad. Hold on. I ain't talking to you, Jay Prince. I'm doing something else in the background. You know what I'm saying? Having a conversation. That's all. We don't condone abuse against women at all. Sim God. Sorry. His wife, 34-year-old Shaniqua Pugh, had filed for divorce, citing infidelity, according to Troy Brown, the husband of one of the women who was shot and the father to one of the deceased children. Okay? And there is a report, we can't find it, but there's a report that Shaniqua Pugh had filed for a divorce from Shamar Elkins, and she had reached her breaking point. Okay? She had reached her breaking point. She was absolutely tired. Let's go to thoughts of another Black woman, because the women are responding.
Heard me talk about the fact that I used to do family law. And part of the reason that I don't do family law anymore is it literally changed the way I saw everything. One of the main things that it changed my mind on is child support. I found out that a lot of Black men think that child support is like being on probation, even though it's not. A way for the state to keep track of the fact that the non-custodial parent is paying the other parent for the support of the kids. That's it. And I'm mad that when I heard about who we now know to be Shamar Elkins, who unalived 8 children. One of the children was actually the cousin of his kid. Well, he unalived 8 children yesterday. And the first thing I thought about is he divorced from their mother? Is he paying a lot of child support? Lo and behold, we now find out because the 2 women that he shot are still living. And they're 2 of the mothers of the children because his current wife, who he had 4 of the children with, is thinking about leaving him. And I'm mad that I was already thinking about the fact that this man likely didn't want to pay child support. Because I already assumed with that many children, there was a high likelihood all of the children were not from the same mother. Again, because I used to do family law. I was correct on that. And see, if she was trying to leave him, my God. And this leads me to the next thing that I'd like to say. I don't want any more Black churches doing any singles conferences or women's conferences. For the next year, and really probably for this foreseeable future, you need to be doing conferences dealing with the wholeness of Black men. And I'm serious on that. I don't want no other single conference, nothing. You need to be doing conferences for the wholeness of Black men. And I am specifically speaking about Black men because that is the skin that I am in. I can't speak for what other people are doing. I can't. I don't want no other singles conferences because you are pocketing. Because Black women are profitable for your tithes and offering. I'm just keeping it real. And every conference you sitting up here doing is not addressing the root issue in many of these relationships. About the unemployment rates of Black men, about their mental health, how to sustain and have healthy relationships. You need to get some grant money. You need to do something. I don't know, but I don't want to hear nothing about a singles conference until you start doing them for Black men. It's too much. I have noticed these patterns in the relationships I've been in. And as many Black women know, some of us, we're the first people to hear about the trauma that many of these Black men have endured. You need to be doing conferences for them. Yeah. It's wonderful that you believe you want to help Black women, but you also need to care about Black men. Do better.
You see, she's completely right. Instead of churches holding events to bring Black women to Black men, they need to focus on Black men and Black mental health. These are the things. These are the things that men need to prioritize before they get with a woman. They get with a woman and they want to destroy her. They want to tear her down. They want to use her body. They want to force her to do every single thing that they feel like she should be doing. The things that should fall beneath the role of a woman or a wife. This is very manipulative. And instead of men focusing on this bandit who was not taking care of his kids, who didn't have a job, right? And now they say he worked at UPS, but he didn't have a job he really wanted. He was going to work hating himself. And this man would eventually go out and lash out against his family. And I want to talk about how y'all Black men are not giving Shamar Elkins the same smoke that y'all have for Joe McCann. when that white man allegedly deleted Ashley Janae, y'all was attacking her for the last week. But now that this black man has shown y'all the true threat against black people, against black women, against black children, y'all choose to ignore it. Now y'all want to bring up mental health issues and everything else. We don't want to hear that shit. Y'all out here making excuses for degenerate bandits who absolutely, they don't deserve any respect. They don't deserve to be treated like humans because they out here acting like animals. That's just the truth of the nature. That's just the truth of the nature. Putting your hands on women, harming women, shooting at children. Like, this is the stuff that degenerates do. And this man was a degenerate. No questions asked. No questions asked. All right. So listen. Just weeks before the massacre, Shamar Elkins reached out to his mother and stepfather on Easter Sunday and admitted he wanted to go play jump rope with Jesus. He told his wife, he told them that his wife wanted a divorce, y'all, and that he was struggling with what he called dark thoughts. His stepfather, who has been identified as Marcus Jackson, tried to talk him through the situation, tried to talk him off the cliff. He told Shamar Elkins that he could beat whatever he was going through. And Shamar Elkins responded, "Some people don't come back from their demons," quote, okay? Let that sink in. Okay. He gave them a warning. He told them that he had these dark thoughts. And less than 24 hours after that conversation on Easter Sunday, 8 children are gone now. The divorce proceedings had a court date scheduled for April 20th, 2026, the very day after the shooting. Right? He knew he was about to lose this court case. He knew he was about to lose his wife. He knew he was about to lose the children. And rather than face the loss, Shamar Elkins chose to destroy everything, to take everything from a black woman who had just simply chose to exercise her autonomy and leave the situation. This is not random. This is not a mental break with no warning signs. This was a man, a bandit, who felt his power slipping away and responded with the most catastrophic form of control imaginable. Okay? Shreveport police, for those who don't know, they received a call from someone on the roof of a house at 6 I think at 6 or 5 o'clock in the morning on West 79th Street in Shreveport, Louisiana. They were saying that a suspect inside had pow someone, and this is all coming from CNN. So think about it. The survivors were so desperate to escape, they climbed into the roof to call for help. Some of the children tried to flee out the back door, and law enforcement, once they arrived at the scene, they found bullet holes in the back door, which means one of those children died trying to escape. They were running, they were trying to survive. And this bandit, he deleted them execution style, his own family. The victims were 5 girls and 3 boys, and the ages ranged from the age of 3 all the way to 11. Shamar Elkins, he shot his wife, Shaniqua Pugh, in the face before turning the pew on his children, most of whom were deleted allegedly while asleep, reported by the National today. After the shooting, Shamar Elkins carjacked someone and fled the scene and was pursued by Shreveport police. He was pursued into Bossier City, where police apprehended him, and he was ultimately deleted. He will face no trial for his punishments against these children. He will face no courtroom, no accountability, at least none on this earth, in this realm. Now, some people would say that, well, nobody could see this coming. Yes, we could. Shamar Elkins had 2 prior criminal convictions. In 2019, he put a 9mm hand pew pew and fired it, right, 5 times near a Shreveport high school where children were playing. He pleaded guilty. He got 8 months probation. He got a firearm charge, and after that, everything was dismissed. This man had already demonstrated that he would pull a pew pew in public, in a public space near children, and the system pretty much gave him a slap on the wrist and handed him back his freedom. Now, his mother has been largely absent due to like addiction, so she wasn't in his life. But that's not an excuse. It's just not an excuse. He was operating in control, and he wanted to control that woman. They had a court date that was settled for the very next day, on Monday. She died on Easter Sunday. They were supposed to go to court on Monday, and she was going to leave him. 8 children gone in one morning because a man couldn't handle losing control of his family and control of his woman. If you know someone showing warning signs, dark thoughts, threats, or has a history of violence, take these things seriously. Do not wait. Do not assume that they'll quote unquote beat their demons on their own. Okay? I'm not staying live for long, guys. All right. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And what can black men do to prevent these situations in the future? I am the Sim God. I will see y'all later, man. Peace.